There's a lot of buzz right now about the Ripple versus SEC case potentially coming to an end, with reports claiming the SEC's lead litigator has been let go. In this video, I'll break down what that could mean for Ripple and its legal battle, but that's not all. There's something huge flying under the radar right now, what I believe to be solid evidence that Ripple is gearing up to play a major role in shaping legislation for the next administration and possibly collaborating with it. On top of that, we'll dive into Elon Musk's recent statement about the Treasury Department using blockchain tech.
I've been trading crypto successfully for over 380 days, consistently closing every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $29,000 in profits by copying my trades. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in the profile description and start copying my trades for free today.
Could XRP be the blockchain of choice? Stick around until the end as we unpack all of this and more. You don't want to miss it. Let's dive into the latest buzz around the Ripple versus SEC case, because there's a lot of chatter out there suggesting this case might finally be over. The speculation is fueled by some big news. Apparently, the SEC's lead litigator has been removed from the agency, and honestly, the way he was removed, it's almost too wild to believe. We're living in a world where even serious events feel like they're straight out of a meme, and we'll get to the details of his exit in just a second. Now, many people are jumping to conclusions saying, hey, the head litigator is out. This is the guy who signed off on all the Ripple versus SEC paperwork, so that must mean the case is done. But hold on for a second. Let me set the record straight. This wasn't all about Jose Tenrero, the SEC's lead litigator, taking on Ripple. It's the SEC versus Ripple, and the story just got more interesting. The SEC is bringing in a new lead litigator to take over the case. So, does that mean it's game over? Not quite. The case isn't over yet, but let's be honest. The writing might be on the wall. Think about it. Would the SEC really replace their top guy in the middle of one of their biggest cases ever if they didn't see an end in sight? Probably not. Here's what we should focus on. First, no, the case isn't over. It's still ongoing. But is it nearing its conclusion? I'd say the answer is a pretty clear yes. The current administration has made it clear they want to wrap up non-fraud cases, and let's face it, this Ripple case doesn't involve fraud. So, in my mind, there's no doubt this case is heading toward its finish line. The only real question left is how it ends. Will it be a dismissal, a settlement? That's the part we're waiting to see. Personally, I'm hoping the case ends with a settlement rather than getting dismissed. Here's why. We've already made huge progress when it comes to getting clarity on XRP and Ripple. If the case is just thrown out, all that progress kind of goes out the window. We'd be back to square one, trying to regain some of the clarity we've already achieved. Sure, we know XRP isn't a security, that's a win, but Ripple has other products that still need clear guidelines. Dismissing the case would feel like a huge waste of time. I'd much rather see Ripple and the SEC come to the table, work out what Ripple needs to do moving forward, figure out what needs to be registered, and establish how they can operate compliantly in the US. Now, does Jose Tenrero stepping down mean the case is getting thrown out? No, it doesn't. Someone new will take over the case. Does this mean the case might wrap up soon? Honestly, yes, it feels like we're heading that way. They wouldn't be letting go of their lead litigator if they thought he'd still be handling these cases moving forward, right? It's clear there's more to the story here. Let's keep expectations realistic. Now, here's the part that's truly wild, and honestly, kind of hilarious. He wasn't directly fired from the SEC. Instead, they reassigned him to the IT department. Yes, you read that right, the IT department. Talk about a slap in the face. It's almost hard to believe this kind of thing happens in government agencies. Unsurprisingly, he resigned after the reassignment. This whole situation is pretty crazy and feels like a calculated insult. It's a not-so-subtle way for the agency to show what they really thought of his work. Clearly, he didn't have many fans internally, and based on his track record, it's not surprising. Judges have consistently criticized him, with one even calling his behavior in the Ripple SEC case arbitrary and capricious, claiming he lacked true allegiance to the law. This individual has faced criticism from the judges and is now being targeted by the SEC, which has demoted him to IT. This seems to signal where things are heading. These cases will likely be dismissed or settled eventually. However, it's important to note that none of this is happening just yet. Right now, we're waiting for the new SEC chair to be confirmed. Once that happens, internal discussions about the handling of these cases will likely begin. It's worth emphasizing that the new chair hasn't even been confirmed yet, but it's expected to happen within the next 60 days. Until then, no major decisions or settlements on these high-profile cases are likely to occur. It would be quite disrespectful if major decisions were made before the new chair officially steps in. They need to confirm him, get him involved, and have him meet with Ripple to negotiate. He should take a couple of months to work things out, and from there, I believe they'll either drop the case or settle it. These are all great signs pointing in that direction, but it's important to remember we're not there yet. Now let's talk about something extremely bullish. In my view, this is the biggest risk Ripple and XRP face under the incoming administration. I was confident things would be far better than in the past, moving away from litigation and lawfare. However, I wasn't sure how crypto-focused the new administration would be. While I was confident they'd prioritize Bitcoin, I wasn't certain about their stance on the broader crypto space. One concern I had was the possibility of Bitcoin maximalists taking office. This could lead to a situation where Bitcoin gets regulatory clarity, but the rest of the crypto industry is shut down. Guys, I truly believe the fear is behind us, and it's time to look ahead with optimism. I want to share two incredibly bullish developments for XRP that are absolute game changers. These points make it clear, no matter what happens in the short term, we're on the right track. First, it's being widely reported that Brad Garlinghouse will be sitting alongside David Sachs, advising him and helping shape cryptocurrency policy. If you think this isn't a big deal for XRP or Ripple's role in the future of crypto, I don't know what to tell you. This shows exactly where we're headed. Ripple is going to play a key role in crafting policy for the next administration, sitting at the same table as major players in the crypto space. If this doesn't convince you of Ripple's importance or the massive role XRP will play moving forward, I don't know what will. This is as bullish as it gets. It's the cherry on top of everything we've been waiting for. Guys, this is wild. I say this all the time. If you told me 2 or 3 months ago that this was going to happen, I would have laughed and said, no way. There's no way we'd become this bullish so fast. Yet, here we are. The fact that this is happening and people are just brushing it off or ignoring it blows my mind. You seriously can't ask for anything better than what's unfolding right now. Brad Garlinghouse is literally stepping up to help shape legislation that could position Ripple as the most dominant cryptocurrency company worldwide. It doesn't get bigger than that. And for those wondering if he'll actually be chosen, I just had to share this because it's crazy that more people aren't talking about it. Last night, Brad posted about how excited he is to work with David Sachs, praising the progress they're making together. He even called out the critics, saying Sachs isn't moving fast enough. They're wrong. Tremendous progress is happening and people need to wake up to what's going on. Brad Garlinghouse just dropped a post and he's sounding more confident than ever. According to him, things have never looked this good for crypto. And guess who chimes in? None other than David Sachs. Yep, the ex-PayPal exec, part of the legendary PayPal mafia, who's tight with big names like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and of course, Garlinghouse himself. Sachs jumps in to back Brad up, basically saying he's spot on with his bullish take. This isn't just random chatter. These guys are deeply connected, and their moves are worth paying attention to. Sachs has been outspokenly bullish on XRP lately, even celebrating when Ripple's SEC case wrapped up. Now he's engaging directly with Garlinghouse in public. If you're watching closely, the signs are clear. The tides are turning, and Ripple, along with XRP, is being set up for something huge. This isn't just good news, it's the most optimistic signal we've seen so far. The next 4 years are going to be absolutely critical, and if you're not paying attention to what's happening now, you're missing the blueprint for the future. It's all being laid out, just waiting to unfold. I truly believe there's a deliberate effort to position Ripple and XRP as major players. They'll stop at nothing to ensure its success, and I wouldn't be surprised to see bold moves like an XRP reserve or even removing capital gains taxes on XRP entirely. This administration is proving they're ready to push boundaries and embrace big, game-changing ideas. Ripple and XRP are perfectly aligned to benefit from this momentum. Earlier, I mentioned the risk of Bitcoin maximalists potentially derailing Ripple and XRP's position in the crypto space, but that concern has been blown out of the water. It's actually the opposite. Ripple and XRP are being set up to lead the cryptocurrency industry. One last thing to touch on. Elon Musk recently suggested that the Treasury Department should adopt blockchain technology. The real question is, could this be a Ripple and XRP thing? Personally, I don't think so. It doesn't really make sense for Ripple or XRP to step in and address this particular need. To me, this feels more aligned with something like Hedera Hashgraph or a DAG-based system, something more focused on data rather than moving money around. When it comes to XRP, the Federal Reserve seems like a more logical fit, handling the movement of funds, while this seems more about tracking data and ensuring proper checks and balances. This is more in the realm of the Treasury Department, where it's about overseeing decisions and making sure everything stays transparent and accountable. It's also a good reminder, no single blockchain can do everything. Strategically, XRP doesn't seem like the right tool for this job. But is this bullish for XRP? Absolutely. If Elon Musk is pushing the government to adopt decentralized neutral protocols for something like this, it's not a stretch to imagine money being next in line, right? This is definitely a more niche application, but an interesting one. We're not sure which blockchain will be used for it just yet, but one thing's for sure, it's not going to be Bitcoin. And honestly, that's proof there's so much more to this ecosystem than just Bitcoin. There are countless protocols being developed for all kinds of use cases, and this is a prime example. Now, is this going to be an XRP thing? I don't think so. XRP is positioned for much bigger things than being a treasury system for shady dealings, right? Is it an important development? Sure. Does it need trillions or quadrillions of dollars in value to function? Probably not. XRP Ledger is fitting into the financial industry for serious and large-scale applications, while protocols like DAG and Hedera Hashgraph are carving out their own roles, such as data tracking. This shows where we're headed, an ecosystem with multiple winners. The idea that Bitcoin is the only player in the game is outdated, and honestly, Bitcoin maximalists are going to have a hard time adjusting to this reality. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this update. Catch you next time.